There's so much more we could be delivering. Appreciate the players sticking with us, and that is our focus right now, is on quality of life for the game.
This is the first time in the whole past year that I've seen Microsoft and Xbox actually level with fans and tell us how it is and just be straight up honest with us and be real with us about the situation with Halo Infinite. This is an interview with Matt Booty. He is the head of Xbox Game Studios. This is the highest up person that I've seen be real with us about the situation. So here is a clip from Friends Per Second. You can find a link for the whole 3-hour stream below, but here is a 3-minute clip of him talking and leveling with us about Halo Infinite. Take a listen.
So obviously, Halo Infinite is having a rough run. It hasn't quite landed in the way that, or it landed well, I think, but since then, it's really struggled quite a bit. So what does Microsoft or yourself put that down to? And what is the general approach for the next little while to get that back on track?
Yeah, well, you put it well, right? I mean, in December, I think we had a peak of around 20 million players playing the game, and just kudos to the team for building and shipping a game during some pretty challenging times, right? Like last year, still in the midst of the pandemic, still everybody trying to figure out how to adapt to remote work and hybrid work, which I think if there is a worst case condition for trying to get games done there, it is the big multi-hundred person team trying to final a game, right? And just went smack into that. So kudos on shipping it. As is apparent, these days with a game like Halo Infinite, shipping the game is just the beginning. There's got to be a plan for content sustain. There's got to be a plan for regular continuing engagement. And we just fell short on the plan on that. So we have really retrenched. We have got some changes in how the team is set up. We've got some changes in leadership. And we've just got to really get refocused around that sustained content plan and making sure that we're bringing a regular update of content for the players. And, just thank you to the players for sticking with us through this, right? I mean, we know that there is, way more demand and there's so much more we could be delivering. Appreciate the players sticking with us. And that is our focus right now, is on quality of life for the game and getting on a regular cadence of the content, getting back to that. And it was, I think, you put it well. It was a little bit of good finish across the finish line, and then sort of the classic runner's mistake of kind of tripping and stumbling as you come across the finish line. And we've got to recover there. So, the burden is on us. The team's very focused on that right now. And it's a reflection of I think something that's very different today than, 5 or 10 years ago in the industry, of just that arc of production really has to focus on what is that plan after you put the game out in the market, because there's really, the phrase of like gone gold or we shipped the game. I don't really know that has as much meaning today as it did, 5 or 6 years ago.
So he said some pretty big things here. He talked about how they fell short, 343 fell short, and it's up for them to retrench, right? They've retrenched already, actually. What does that really mean? It seems that, like, obviously the team is set up differently now. There's a change in leadership, most notably like Bonnie Ross, the head of 343, leaving. But even if she was, giving some negative impact to the Halo franchise, it's probably something we won't see for a while. Like maybe around summer of next year, we're going to start seeing all the leadership shakeup changes. And of course, I would have loved for him to talk about Microsoft's hiring freeze, because that is very likely the problem that is going on at 343. I think it's a mixture of the dev tools not working the way that they were supposed to, as well as just lack of manpower, right? I think it's not black and white. There's a couple issues going on here, as well as just them kind of working on this big reorganization thing and making sure that everything that they release has to go through certain certificates and like passes before it's released to the public. So it's that kind of corporate pipeline that kind of led to the cancellation of Split Screen, because actually it was just mentioned, I'll talk about it in another video, but basically in an IGN interview thing, they said that it was like about 20% from being done, but they didn't have all the passes and it's buggy and it's glitchy. And even other people that have tried out Split Screen, I haven't, have said it's about 85% finished and polished. So Anyway, Matt Booty actually thanked us for sticking it through. And I hate to bring it up, but I don't think most people have stuck it through from, those month one players. He talked about how this game launched with 20 million players, and I would love to see the current statistics now on Xbox just so we can kind of gauge how things are going. It's pretty obvious, at least on Steam, that Steam was not a major selling point for Halo Infinite and for Microsoft selling this game, or even having free-to-play downloads. So we really shouldn't use Steam charts too seriously. I think there's about 30 to 40, 50,000 people that play this game on Xbox every day, which isn't the worst, but I can just kind of tell because of how many people are in the Halo community and are active and according to Steam, right? But with that being said, most of those players have left, and Matt Booty talks about that they need to focus on getting this game up to speed. Quality of life, he said, is the focus in getting regular content releases, and I like that he was real with us and honest about us. Like, he compared it to a runner going too fast in a race, going past the finish line and then tripping. And, after the race to release this game, it's been a crawl. It's been an absolute crawl, and they got to recover, and the burden is on them, he said. And the team is very focused on that right now. And, I worry about the way that they say this sometimes because it kind of reminds me of like Kickstarters that flop. The way that they can't talk about the game because they're just working so hard on the game. They don't know what to say. And, it's just so much corporate pipelines that I think really slow down the system. That's why I think indie games are just able to do so much more when the studio is working and really putting things, pencil to paper, working on the game. They can create a lot more than what major publications like 343 can publish because they have all these rules and all these restrictions and all these quality of improvements and stuff like that. And I wish there was a little bit more for that regarding content. Like, why aren't there rules to push out content on targets, because 343 hasn't really reached many targets. But anyways, he also mentioned that the phrase gone gold doesn't have much meaning today as it did maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, which is frustrating to hear, but it feels like he's kind of bought into this and kind of bought into this idea and the modern gaming pipeline and how it's normalized now to release unfinished games, sell them as if they were finished, and then work on them later if so the publisher finds it profitable. Obviously he didn't say all that, but, saying that gone gold doesn't have any meaning much anymore, it makes me think that maybe 343 doesn't take it seriously anymore when they say that the game has gone gold, because quite frankly, the game, in many people's eyes, including mine, honestly, have not gone gold. We have Forge releasing now, finally, but we still have Split Screen that was canceled when it was promised numerous times on stage and during interviews and with IGN. I mean, it was just so confidently promised, and now we just have no news about it. It seems that it's canceled forever. So, this is a big buzzkill, and I do worry about the some of the verbiage here, but this is, I think, a lot of what we needed from 343 is for them to really keep it real with us, because it feels kind of gaslighty when they act like everything is fine, that this is acceptable, and that there needs to be a little bit more, leveling with fans. So I do praise Matt Booty for just being real with us. For once, someone higher up in Microsoft and even really 343 on video being really straight up honest, straight up, this is how it is, right? They fell short. The team screwed up pretty bad here, and that helps a lot, I think, with just winning people over. I think it's a PR thing, but it is important for morale moving forward. So anyways, guys, I thought I'd talk about this real quick, and I'll catch you in the next one soon. Peace.